exhale. So anyone out there struggle with when something happens, having a big emotional experience and then reacting to it versus responding? I know for me, someone might say something like, you should do something, or a situation comes up that I didn't plan for, and I might have a big feeling like annoyance or anger or frustration or um, disappointment or whatever might happen. And in that moment, I react, and I usually react in a way that if I had thought about it, I wouldn't have wanted to react. I might say something mean to someone, or, I might, when I was younger, I would like slam doors and throw things, or, just basically allow my emotion to dictate my behavior. Um, and so I've been working with some people right now, and we've been talking about like, how do you pause? Because the pause is the hardest part. It's like logically we can understand that when something happens, we might not want to react to it. But finding the way to pause in that moment, and being able to then decide how we want to respond is like our power piece. And so, for me, I use mindfulness practices and just like some like embodied practices to help me pause so that I can then like register what is actually happening. Like, this person said this, how do I want to respond to it? Instead of just reacting based on like my childhood reactions of how I would respond to things. So some of the in the moment practices I've shared in previous videos, but I thought it would just be really helpful to share 3 in the moment practices that I do here. And then what you can do is you can try them out and then practice before something happens, and then think like, okay, this is something that helps me pause. When do I actually want to practice it in the moment, right? Because we want like a plan in place for when something comes up. We want to plan what to do. And the first part of the plan is to plan to pause. So one of the things, my go-to, I've shared it before, is just a really long exhale. Not only does this help me pause, but it actually gets me into my thinking part of my brain, which helps me decide how I want to respond. And so a long exhale is just that's it. I like to do it out of my mouth, but sometimes I do it out of my nose as well. That long exhale in that moment, it doesn't even have to be that long, just gives me that pause, that moment. And so when I feel an emotional reaction, I feel that like anger or frustration starting to rise, I do my long exhale. It might lightly calm me down, not totally calm me down. And then I'm like, okay, how do I want to respond from here? Another thing that I do is I sometimes will squeeze my fists or squeeze my arms or my shoulders, just like really, like if I'm feeling a big, strong emotional thing, squeezing it helps me like anchor into my body and feel that tension that I'm already kind of having in my body, and then letting it go. And doing that in my body helps me anchor myself back into my body and allows me to then, again, choose how I want to respond. And then something that I do that is way, way, way less obvious, and you can't even see me do it now, is I feel the bottoms of my feet. My feet might be on the floor. My feet might be in socks. They might be in shoes. They might, who knows where they're going to be. Ideally, I'm standing or sitting because it really helps to feel that pressure. But all I do is just feel the bottoms of my feet. And that really helps like anchor me into my body, ground me into my body. It's like up here, all this is like where that like big energy around the emotion is coming from. And when I feel the bottoms of my feet, it helps bring me in again so that I can decide, oh, okay, when this person says this, I actually want to respond this way, not with anger and meanness. Okay. So try these 3 out: a long exhale, feeling the tension in your body and letting that tension go, feeling the bottoms of your feet, and then think about like which one of these could be a really helpful pause button for you. And then when might you want to practice it? What is something that does often cause big emotional experiences where you react, and thinking about pausing instead. Okay, let me know how this goes for you.